Hey, what is up, guys? It's your boy Speed here, and today I got a crazy game. So I've been trying out this new MP build. You guys know it's my favorite hero in the world, Nature's Prophet. It's the greatest hero in Dota. Why? You can do anything. You can go right click. You can go Midas Maelstrom. You could go Gloves of Haste Maelstrom. You could go Wraith Pact. You could go Orchid. You can go Witchblade. You can do so many different things on this hero. You can fight a lot. You can farm a lot. You can take towers. You can take no towers and just take creeps. This is the best hero in the game, hands down. And I'm going to show you a game where I tried out, I'm not going to call it the Seb build, because even though I've watched a couple of replays now where Seb goes this, not this exact build, but a variation of what I do this game. I watched a couple of games of his. He's been doing quite well in the hero. And he typically goes Wraith Pact, Pipe. It's like the meta build right now, right? But I didn't feel like this was a good pipe game. Their cores are Tusk, PL, Legion. I'm like, why am I going to buy a pipe? So I did go the Wraith Pact, fantastic Wraith Pact game. Other than the fact that PL is actually decent against Wraith Pact, right? It's just one of those heroes that has illusions that he can send at the Wraith Pact. So I was a bit nervous about that. I was a bit nervous about him killing it, and it's not like, I wouldn't say it's a great PL game because we have Morphling Ags for PL. You can basically click Morphling Ags on any of the illusions and it steals 20% all of PL stats, right? It steals 20% of his strength, agi, intelligence, and attacks, and then like 70 attack speed. Just neuters the hell out of him. So really, I don't think the matchup's that bad between Morphin and PL. It used to be really bad. It's not anymore. It's really fine. But either way, look at these blocks. Oh! I thought I was going to kill him for a second, but then I messed it up. I gave him a little bit of a gap there. Hey, that's honestly pretty value. It's going to force him to eat a tango, probably two tangos very early on into the lane. That could help the primal beast win the lane. Not kidding, right? Especially at the highest level, right? My mid laner is one of the greats. Gunner Dota 2. That could be the difference between him being able to win the lane or not. Because he's going to take take advantage of small advantages. So pretty good. Either way, in terms of treant usage, I'm always going to have 4 in the first wave. It's very important so you can bully out the position 5, the position 1. Essentially, the way you do this, I didn't show it earlier. I'm not going to show it. Just spawn treants off cooldown. When you load into the game, instantly spawn treants. Then when they come back off cooldown, spawn treants. And then again, spawn treants. And you will have 4 treants first wave. It will line up perfectly. It's thankfully that easy. You don't have to think about any fancy tech. But from here on out, I don't mind pushing in the wave, right? Usually my main goal as Furion is actually to click the wave a bunch. So just to go back a second, I'm going to click the wave a bunch, and the reason why is I want to be able to hit the enemy. If the wave is pushing into me and I'm a ranged hero and they hit level 2 first at some point, I'm not going to eventually win the trades. It's not going to feel as good. However, even though it's under their tower, I'd rather keep the wave pushing in a little bit, which is kind of the advantage of the Blightstone to some extent, right? It makes the creeps take a bit more damage even from the lane creeps, so it pushes in the wave relatively hard. And that's fine, right? I don't mind this because now you can see I have nothing to do. I don't have to worry about last hitting or even denying right now. So I could shift over and help deal with the Ogre a bit. So we take away most of Ogre's HP. Once again, because the wave is shoving in, I can just hit the PL. And that's the main thing I'm doing, right? Because I'm in this state of general creep advantage, I can actually use time to hit people. And most people don't get this. They think like, I don't know, they just don't think much about it at all. And that's kind of advanced tech that you can use to make the lane better. So I did pull the wave back a little bit here, just to, you know, it was pushing in. The PL dragged the wave under tower. So if he's going to let the wave push in, and it's not going to punish me too hard, right? As long as I don't let the waves double up, I'm happy to take the wave back, right? I'm going to make sure it doesn't double up on me, as I said. If the wave is to double up, I'm probably going to auto-attack quite a bit, but you can see. I buy my set of tangos. I personally like buying 6 tangos. I also like buying stick. Honestly, I think stick is way better than the Sage's Mask usually. I honestly think I should have bought the stick. I tried Sage's Mask because it does build into the Wraith Pact, but I eventually ended up buying one anyway, and the stick gives you, I wouldn't say much more mana, but it gives you, obviously, HP, so I would recommend buying the stick over the Sage's Mask generally. And then I like 6 tangos because I'm going to take a lot of damage, right? And it might seem weird. It's like you can protect yourself with treants, and you have such good attack range and attack time. It's like, why would you take so much damage? It really just comes from pulling creep aggro as a ranged hero, and then having your tiny be a dumbass and skill toss instead of avalanche. I don't know why he's skilled. I mean, Todd's just not bad, but I just think Avalanche is so reliable. And the nice thing about Avalanche is it doesn't make people, like, get thrown onto me. Which, in this case, ended up being fine because I was quite a bit stronger. But I just feel like the toss, I don't know, it just makes me go out of position and makes the tiny not be able to hit during the stun durations. I personally just think it's way worse than Avalanche at level 2 on average. Definitely with something like Furion, who can follow up the Avalanche really easily. Either way, let's not focus on that too much. Main thing as well, during this entire time, for the most part, I'm CSing and denying. And then the goal is, when I'm not CSing and denying, right, in between creeps, I'm going to be hitting people. And that's the goal. Anytime you're playing a range hero like DP or Furion and you're in a pretty favorable matchup, for instance, Furion beats Peel early on. Peel's armor is not that good. He has no way to kill treants. He can't out CS you. So for instance here, I can outplay him pretty hard, right? What I mean by that is I can kind of bait him on creeps and punish him pretty hard. So like, for instance, this range creep. He might think I just try to deny it right away, but instead of doing that, I read that he might try to walk up expecting me to deny it or expecting Tiny to deny it. So instead of doing that, I hit him, and then until he goes for it, then I go for the deny, right? So I hit him, I get value 3, 4, 5 autos on him just in that period of time in which he walks up. So I thought maybe he was running a Tiny here, but he wasn't. Either way, I'll take some creeps, get some denies. Right now, at this point, with honestly, when I can have 6 treants at a time, which is the case when you have when you have level 3, which honestly, I wish I spawned more treants. I think that's something I still need to work on. I really do believe, especially when you have something like Siamora, and then you rush stick, and I even went for the mantle here for the treads, you're going to have a ton of mana, right? I have no mana problems, no real mana problems, even if I spawn off cooldown. So I really think I should spawn off cooldown so I can work with 6 treants. For instance here, I don't know why I don't have treants. It's really bad. I have so much mana, and I don't know why I'm not spawning treants. So I will say, me as a player, even though I'm, I guess, a specialist at this here, I still make these small minor efficiencies that can cause me to lose the lane. Like, the PL couldn't have run at me there if I had treants. It would have been way harder. So yeah, I just think, and for instance here as well, as this ogre fights me and this whole situation goes down, if I had spawned treants 20 seconds earlier, I'd have 6 treants right now. And it is unbelievably easy to block the enemy if you have 6 treants. Unbelievably easy. It's so easy to treant trap them and man up, because you just have so many treants. I mean, we win the trade anyway here, and this was fantastic. Tiny ended up dying, but he had no mana, so he basically wanted to die. I get a double kill. Didn't have to commit too many resources. Now I summon the treants. That's good. But yeah, as you can see, with this like giga set of treants, I can easily deny the majority of the creeps. And now we have 12 denies coming into this wave, right? So 12 denies. Even with the Lance going for the range creep, I have way too much damage. I will TP back to base here. I ran out of regen, but I'm going to be able to... I pick up another set of tangos, and the reason why I do that is as I'm going to spawn treants coming out of base just to save mana. But the reason why I buy a second set of tangos is I can do the sprout trick. So if the enemy ever runs at me, I sprout myself, I eat a tango. And it gives you double the regen, heals you up, and you break out of the backside of the sprout. Unfortunately, this lane is kind of weak, so I don't think I ever had to use it. But I always like buying it just in case. And even if I get ganked, I think it really helps me stay alive. So personally, I always like carrying tangos. You could do it with quelling, but then you don't get the regen, and I don't know. Yeah, you don't get the regen. So I personally think that this is better. We get a bit of a Tusk rotation here. I mean, a Primal Beast rotation. So it's pretty good. Their mid laner rotates in. I have to kite out a bit, right? I'm not too strong at this point in the game. I'm like reasonably strong, but I'm not terribly strong. So I'll have to be very respectful of the enemy rotations, enemy movements, as we almost get the mid tower. So pretty solid rotation. Things definitely worked out overall. As once again, I'm going to spam my treants. So I get off a side pull, and this is a great thing to do. Even if you're winning the lane, side pulling is really great, right? So it's really nice that I can get the side pull. As I clicked on Ogre there, I noticed he had no tangos, no quelling. Sprout him up, get a kill. And now the lane is completely done, right? This PL is in a horrible position because we've dominated him on CS. He actually is 31-6. Like, this guy, this PL player is a really great player. He's the rank 7 in NA. But it just didn't matter, right? Because he just, I mean, Ogre is pretty horrible against Furion. Like, yeah, you're a melee hero with good armor, so you deal well with treants, but I can just beat him up. If he tries to trade with my Tiny, I just beat him up. So, like, I think it's I personally like laning Furion into Ogre. I've won the lane the last few times I've had to do it, so I've had a good experience with that. And yeah, from there I pick up Gloves of Haste, and what I do now is I'm going to static the wave. And this might seem weird, like, why not try to take the tower? The reason why I do this is the Primal Beast rotation wasn't coming in, so I don't have to try to take the tower right now, and I could get ganked by Tusk really easily. And on top of that, if the lane... Peel kind of needs lane creeps. He can jungle, and honestly, I watched the replay already. He jungled, which I couldn't believe. I thought most players would stay in the lane expecting me to push it in, and then I don't, and then they waste a bunch of time. Maybe he just assumes I'm good, or I know this tech, or he shouldn't take the chance, because I'm level 6, and I can, like, kind of pressure him with the Wrath of Nature really easily. or a primal beast rotation, so he just goes into the jungle, which was a correct play on his part, in my opinion. Just don't take the risk. It's really bad, though. Like, even though he got bloodlusted, it's still slow as shit. So, obviously, it's not good for him. And I took a bit of farm away from the ogre, who did stay in the lane. Eventually, we'll take the tower. You can see this is a great read. I'm actually the GOAT. I'm the GOAT. I know when people are going to gank me. Not always, but a lot of the time. And the reason why here is Tusk was respawning, right? So, here, Tusk is respawning in 5. And I'm, like, walking up to the tower, and he knows I'm an easy target, right? So, as he respawns, I'm like, he's going to TP on me. Joke's on you, buddy. I'm out of here. And now the Primal Beast was coming over, and I see him coming over. And so I drop my ult, get some good damage. Tusk is going to walk up to me, but obviously Primal Beast is here, so I'm not afraid at all. And we pick up a huge kill onto the Tusk, and that was massive. I avoid the gank, take the tower, set up for the Primal Beast, kill onto the Tusk. Tusk also wasted his snowball trying to clear out the wave, so that was a huge read on my part. Like, shit like that changes games, guys, right? If I die right before the Primal Beast shows up and then he can't kill them because of that, it swings the game. That's like a 500 network swing or something like that. Small reads, small plays completely changed Dota. And now I just have complete reign of the bottom side of the map. I'm not going to really look to rotate. Honestly, I probably could have used Wrath of Nature for top here. I don't know why I didn't. I should have. I could have Wrath of Natured, but all I was looking to do here is just kind of bully the PL. Oh, this is so good. Look at this. Look at this. I'm the greatest. I mean, hey, I'm not going to be humble here. This was a top level play. Look at this. I know this guy's going to doppel bait. And I just start clicking one of them. I'm like, it's probably this one. I guessed right. He tried to doppel bait. He's like, shit, why is he hitting the real one? What psychopath just picks one and hits it? Your boy SpeeedDota. I just had a feeling. Like, that's just 15,000 hours of Dota. Or like, I don't know, whatever I have. I probably have like 12K or something. I don't know. Game time. I probably have way more total time. I've watched so many replays and videos and whatever. But yeah, we're going to make our first rotation in here. So we're clearing out the bottom side, just kind of griefing the PL a bit. And honestly, that's one of the reasons I don't like rotating out of the lane. It lets the PL farm the lane, but here is just too tempting as this guy pops his stick. I'm like, shit. But he pops his stick, so we get the ogre, we get the Legion kill, we get the hoodwink, and it's just an easy rotation. And then, you know, Tusk stays around for a little bit too long. We get the Sprout into the treants. It's a nice set of kills. And, you know, I'm TPing it with the Vlads as well. And currently with the 48 damage from my ulti and a bit of bonus damage from Vlads, I'm hitting for a very substantial 174 with really good base attack time and tread. So one thing I even think I should do as well is buy casual Gloves of Haste before the Vlads. I personally think casual Gloves of Haste are really good on this hero, and it's something I might do again. But yeah, for now, all I was looking to do is just kind of jungle. So you can see I'm looking bottom, but if the entire top side of the map is unfarmed, I'm going to farm it. Even with Wraith Pack, there's no reason not to. It's good to still snowball and continue to farm your next item, right? I want to pick up drums this game. I didn't feel like pipe was good, and I thought drums were fantastic. It gives movement speed to primal, movement speed to tiny CM, and, well, it gives movement speed to everyone, but movement speed for trample, and attack speed for the morphling and me. So I was like, okay, it makes me a little bit tanky, and the value of the item's good. I checked if CM was buying one, and I'm like, yeah, it helps me split push, makes me tanky, gives movement speed, and it's just a good item. It's just a good item, and I wanted to go Horus this game. I think the other item I could have bought was a Mjolnir. Helps me man up to the Legion, mans up the PL extremely well. That would be the main reason for the PL. It's just kind of the best man up item for Furion in general is Mjolnir because of the active. The active's really good. Yeah, from there, with this Wraith Pack build, it's a very simple, straightforward idea. You're very tanky. You can TP in pretty deep. Like typically, even here, I think I could have TP'd in deeper just because I'm so tanky. I have a 21 Wraith Pack. Like, if they go on me, they're probably going to die. And that's the value of this build, largely the value. You can TP in very deep and you can get very active, right? While typically a different version of Furion would have like Midas Maelstrom and just not be as strong right now, this build is of course going to give your team way more team fight because you have a Wraith Pack and Vlads, and you know you provide way more team fight earlier on. I will say that I'm a bit skeptical of the build because I don't think you scale that well with it. The only way you scale is by providing vision with treants, which I don't do this game. Only because my console shit was bugged, so I couldn't split the treants up. But you'll notice at level 10, I actually take Nature's Call cooldown. And the reason why I do that is at level 15, I take Treant Summoned. And what I do is with this Call cooldown and Treant Summoned is I just spawn Treants like crazy. And then if you don't know this, you can type in a console command in Dota where you can manually select each of the units by clicking your next unit key. And you can just spread them across the map. You've probably seen this at TI with Brood. You can do it with Treants too. And so basically, I'll block the enemy's camps so they can't farm. and I'll provide vision like crazy. So I'll just grief the enemy team off cooldown. So even if I can't kill them, I can just grief them with information and by blocking camps with treants. And it's a very effective way to play the game as I get gone on here. But I'm very tanky, so I get out. And I was thinking about what item to buy next. I'm like, I don't know what to buy. I ended up settling on AC. I just felt like, hey, they're like mostly physical damage. The AC is fantastic. They even have, you know, Bloodlust tag team, so it's a great game for the AC. So I ended up picking that up. But yeah, from there, even with this aura, I would just like to say, if your team is not taking the space on Furion, or there's like open space to take, as long as you have your TP up, take it. Right? Take the space. Don't initiate fights. Always let your team do it. The only exception to that is if you have an Orchid, maybe you can do it then. Or if like you're trying to catch them because you think you're in extreme advantage. For instance here, I knew they didn't have all their heroes top. Hoodwink's literally showing bottom. I can see Ogre on this top ward. He's not immediately here. Like, this is a free ass fight. So I TP in deep, right? Usually I wouldn't do that, but this to me is just like, it's very clearly a winning fight. We find the Ogre, we find the PL, so I'm happy to TP in deep. But that's very intentional. I rarely will TP like that, even with a build like this. I'll rarely TP like that. I don't think it's a good idea as we get a nice little engagement here. And then from there, yeah, it's pretty similar to all other Furion gameplay. I'm taking the open space. I get ganked because these guys are a bunch of losers. Why would they smoke like that? Didn't they know my team? Did they have a ward? What is this shit? Oh, he put down deep wards. I was like, why would they smoke like this? Because you might be like, oh, Speed, it's to kill the person jungling. Are you stupid? You're just so cocky. No, it's conceptually. They know my team is here. If you are going to use a smoke, you want to team fight generally. You're not going to do it for a pick-off when you're 12k behind. If you get a pick-off and you're 12k behind, unless it's on their most farm hero, which technically I am, so unless you're reliably going to pick off the most farm hero, which, why would they even assume I'm here? I mean, to be fair, they could because I'm playing Furion. I don't expect them to have the knowledge of me doing that. But basically, to explain what I'm saying is, like, if they pick me off, it just doesn't really change the game. It doesn't turn into anything. It doesn't get them a tower. It doesn't get them Roche. Like, I don't know. It was just so weird to me. I'm like, why? They know my team is mid/bottom. Why are they running in here? I guess they had a ward. So it's not a bad play. It gives them like a ton of gold. So I will admit, I think it ends up being the correct play. We get some return kills off of it, so it's not too bad. We catch the PL. So it ends up being completely bad. So ends up being fine. But yeah, worked out for them. Good play. I wish I had my treants things selected because I could have scouted the smoke a bit faster and then just like not showed it all. But I think I knew they were smoked or assumed they were smoked at the moment. I was just like, there's no way they're coming in here. And then and then I got duel. I'm like, shit. I guess I was wrong. But all right, we're gonna siege up the tower. And yeah, with this build, your treants are really good too. So the treants are kind of trash nowadays ever since they got rid of the shard, but they're not horrible. If you have like this type of build, you can split push pretty well too. The only thing is you can't BKB TP out. I don't have a BKB obviously. But in terms of split pushing and killing towers, man, does a build like this rip into towers. Especially when you eventually get to level 25 and you have the treants talents. Whew! I'm telling you. I'm telling you. It's some crazy stuff. Right? You can really, really push fast. But yeah, in terms of the team fights, I don't mind TPing in deep. I want the enemy to go on me. To be honest, you right click so mediocre that you're better off using your survivability to just buy time. So while I typically would never recommend TPing like into the enemy as Furion, I'm going to sort of TP into them here. So like even this TP seems a bit deep, but I'm happy to go for a Sprout onto the PL, right? Go a little bit deep, drop down a deep Wraith Pact. I'm happy to go for the deep Wraith Pact, right? Get it onto their back line, just kind of get it pulsing, right? I love when it's deep and pulsing. That's just the best case scenario. And one more thing I'd like to say as this team fight breaks down, it's a really good habit anytime you're Furion to instantly focus back up on splitting map, getting waves in, getting the map control, hitting your next timing, which all just comes from splitting the map. Basically, split the map when the team fight breaks down. You can see how fast I am. I'm like, fight's done, boom, top tower, clean it up. And this is very important to do. You push so fast with this build. It's very important because if you don't do this, you're not going to maximize your timings. And Furion, when he's not ahead, is a bad hero. There's no other way to put it. Furion from behind is pretty shitty. The only thing you do well at that point is give information, which is not terrible, but yeah, either way, thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed. Hopefully you're inspired a bit, because my team was actually freaking out. The Morphling, the first thing he typed this game was free PL game. That's what he said. Free PL game. And their PL player is a very good farmer. He's like known for his hyper carries, and he's playing PL in like a free PL game, but we were chilling. I think Tiny's pretty decent against PL. CM's pretty fine against PL. Nova Herald's pretty good. Primal Beast is solid against PL. Morphling Axe crushes PL, and my hero beats PL in lane if I play well. So we were chilling. I don't think PL is even that good of a hero. It can do fine, but thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, I gotta start saying subscribe early on into the videos, because I don't think most people make it to the end. But if you made it to the end, let's comment something. What should you comment so I know you made it to the end? Comment wheat thins. I just ate some wheat thins. And you can comment wheat thins so I know you're a real one. Either way, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one, and I'm out. Peace.